fourth graders. We have been talking in the last 2 e-learning days about fact and opinion, and this is going to be kind of our wrap-up video, and then I'm going to have you practice what you've learned about fact and opinion in an Agilastic after this. So when I've been reading nonfiction, one time I came across an article that was talking about plastics in our oceans, and they made a statement that there is an island of plastic in our oceans. And that's one of our big 3 questions, our stances when we're reading nonfiction, is to watch for anything that's surprising or shocking. And for me, that was shocking and surprising that there is an island of plastics in our ocean. But then I got to thinking, and I was like, I don't know if I necessarily believe that. And so it kind of made me question whether I thought that was true. So I've been researching and looking through some articles, or anytime I find anything about the plastics in the ocean, I usually pick it up. So I found a Time for Kids, and it says, "Plastic Planet, is our problem with waste too big to handle?" So I was reading through here, and I was thinking about our lesson, Fact and Opinion, and I was wondering if there were any opinions mixed in with this article. And it's called "The Problem with Plastics." So I read through the article, and I pulled out 4 statements from it that I wanted to try and figure out, are they fact or are they opinion? So I'm going to read just a little bit of the article so you can kind of get an idea what it's about. It's "The world's oceans and landfills are full of plastic waste. Can anything be done about it? A cleanup crew is exploring the shore of a river in Washington, D.C. The water rippled under a blue sky and grass swayed on the mud flaps. But something else caught in the group's eye. Along the shore were heaps of plastic bottles. They had drifted down the river and gotten caught in branches that dipped into the water. The more the group looked, the more bottles they found. They gathered about 500 that day. It's just overwhelming, Nancy Wallace of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration told TFK, or Time for Kids. You didn't have enough room to move because of the piles and piles of bottles. The world has a plastics problem. Bottles, straws, toothbrushes, toys, and all kinds of plastics are piling up in landfills. In fact, landfills contain a large part of the world's 5 billion tons of plastic waste. By 2050, the amount could reach 13 billion tons. That's shocking and scary. Much of this trash finds its way into the ocean. Scientists say 165 million tons of plastic debris is floating around out there. In 32 years, plastic in the ocean could outweigh all the fish. And most plastic is not biodegradable. That means that it's not going to go away. It's not going to decompose, and it's not going to become something else. It's just going to stay plastic. So it will remain in the ocean forever. It endangers marine life and even ends up in the food we eat. Oh, yuck. Governments are realizing that recycling may not be enough. They want to eliminate some plastic items altogether. The problem can seem overwhelming, Wallace says, but it's a solvable problem. Plastic pollution. Plastic litters beaches, whales get entangled in plastic fishing nets, birds starve with bellies full of plastic straws and bottle caps. Another danger is harder to see. Sunlight causes plastic to become brittle. Ocean waves then break it into smaller pieces. Marine animals that eat them are poisoned. There's also the problem of microbeads. These tiny bits of plastic are in products like cosmetics and toothpaste. Microbeads get washed down the drain, winding up in rivers and oceans. The last straw. Britain has outlawed products containing microbeads. Rwanda has made plastic bags and packaging illegal, except in hospitals. Scotland and Thailand have banned plastic straws. Several coastal cities in the U.S. have too. The U.S. alone throws away some 500 million plastic straws a day. That's enough to circle the earth twice. Saying no to a plastic straw is an easy way to make a big difference in the world. Diane Laughlin says she founded strawfree.org. After all, she says, our future is at stake. Do we really want to pass on to the next generation a world that's choked by plastics. And they've got some pictures here, like one is this alligator has a rubber tie around its neck, and then they've got some plastics floating in the ocean. So it's just something that I've been thinking a lot about, and we're focusing on nonfiction and the facts and opinions. And last time we watched a video that said facts are things that can be proven true or false. They're statements that can be proven true or false. So I could go and I could show whether that thing that I said is either true or false. An opinion can't be proven true or false because it's based on how someone feels. It's their feeling about a topic. So I have two, I kind of grouped them for time's sake. And so I wanted to talk about is, in fact, so this is 1, 2 quotes, 1, 2 quotes from the text. So I'm going to read through each one. I want you to think about whether or not it's a fact or an opinion. And then I'll tell you the answer at the end. So just think, can it be proven true or false, or is it a belief? In fact, landfills contain a large part of the world's 5 billion tons of plastic waste. This was taken right from the text. When I look at it, can I prove that? Can they measure that? Is that provable? Or is it an opinion where it has feelings in it? Britain has outlawed products containing microbeads. Is that provable? Can I say that that's a true thing, that it's fact? It was just overwhelming. Nancy Wallace of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration told Time for Kids. The problem can seem overwhelming, Wallace says, but it's a solvable problem. So again, we're thinking, is this provable, or is it someone's feelings? And so, what do you think? Which one's the facts and which one's the opinion? When I look over here, there's a big clue. I hope you saw it. They actually say, in fact, which means maybe they're talking about something that's provable. Can they go and measure and look at? I think so. This is something that they could go and look at the waste and how much we're producing and look at reports, and I think that this is provable. I can say it's true. Britain has outlawed products containing microbeads. I could go to Britain, England, and I could see, do you have this law? So it's a fact if I can go and prove it to be true or false. So this side, I would say these are both facts because they're provable. Either true or false. We could have a fact that we prove is false. We can prove it. Like I could say, I know a person who once ate 10 strawberry pies. I could go and find that person, and that could be proven true or false. So it's still a fact even if he only ate 6 and it was false. It was just overwhelming, Nancy Wallace of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration told Time for Kids. Is that proof? I mean, we could go and ask her if it was overwhelming, but I think it's more of a feeling. That's her opinion. It was overwhelming for her. Someone else might go and look at the plastics and not feel overwhelmed. They might feel like it's an okay problem. We can do other things to fix it. So I'm going to say this one is a feeling. The problem can seem overwhelming. Again, Wallace is saying a feeling here. And so she also says it's a solvable problem. Some people might not believe it's solvable. She can't prove that that's right or true or false. So we're going to call this one the opinions because it has a feeling in it. Both of those have feelings. So what I'd like for you to do is to go to the Edgelastic, and I want you to test out and see if you can label facts and opinions. But I also want you to look at your Time for Kids in your reading and see if you can find some facts and opinion. I know that you each have at least 3 or 4 Time for Kids in your resource folder that you can use. So happy reading.